That's a statistic.
Yeah.
And GarageBand has crashed.
It's gonna be one of them days.
No, here we are. We're good.
All right.
Hello, friends, and welcome into the Garage Talk Podcast. As always, my name is Tyler Warner. With me is Tim Vogler.
That's me.
And Vince is deathly ill. COVID is making its way back around and has attacked Vince, apparently.
No, I think he just had some bad ass or some wings. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not feeling too good, so he took the day off. I thought about being one of those, abusive employers who is like, well, if you don't come in, you're fired kind of thing. But then I realized I don't pay him, so I can't hold that over his head.
Yeah.
I have nothing to hold against
I mean,
him.
like I said, I was gonna suggest maybe just record in the bathroom, and then we just run a long cable. I don't know if we have an extension for the XLRs, but
if you were to give me a big enough advance, I would have gotten a XLR cable long enough to go from here all the way to the restroom.
Well, either that, or we would have to just be in the shower while he was on the toilet. That would be
a really awkward episode.
Really
let's not pretend you never said that. You don't need to, not get into that.
Yeah,
sounds terrible.
No, I mean, he doesn't have to be on camera, but just so we could all be in there. It'd be really intimate. But
I guess we could have tried to done this via FaceTime or Discord.
We tried that one time and it didn't really work. So
did we?
Yeah.
I thought we thought about trying it.
No, we tried it that was in the old garage. Yeah, I thought I was sick.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't work. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Scratch that idea. But I want to say that I am very upset that Vince isn't here, and it bothers me that he should be he should be a harder worker. I've never called in sick once in my life, and the fact that he would do that. And also, Tim, you're going through a tragedy right now, and you're still here. And he has a little
my heart is
boo-hoo cold, and he's not.
My heart is broken.
Is it too soon to talk about?
No, it happened. I didn't really talk about the other one that happened. I took the day off for that one. That was a
lifelong friendship, though. I mean,
yeah, that was an old.
Well, okay. Do you want to say it, or do you want me to say it?
I'll say it.
Right.
Yeah. No, this last Wednesday, my dog just decided to go for a run without permission.
In his defense, it was a nice day out.
It's pretty nice. Yeah. No, my little 9-pound Chihuahua Archer decided to go for.
Small.
He's tiny. He's got so much energy, and he decided to use it all, and he got about a mile away from where we were at, and he got hit by a car, and it's been tough.
R.I.P. Archer. We got a moment of silence. Pour one out for the dog. Sterling Archer.
Sterling Mallory Archer. I would have brought scotch, but all I have is Southern Comfort,
which Archer would despise.
Yes, but he would drink it anyways because he's an alcoholic. But
all right, moment of silence. His poor little butt. Did you find him?
Somebody else found him. They called the number on his collar, and
I
had to go pick him up. And
so you saw his body?
Not really. They already had him
bagged and tagged.
In bag, which was very, very sweet of them, and I'm glad that happened.
Okay. So to break the fourth wall a bit, I actually haven't asked all the details from you about it, just because I know it's a trying time.
Yeah.
I was the whole week. I've been very concerned that you or your wife had literally found his poor little body, and
no,
because that would be very traumatizing.
We had a whole legion of volunteers and people looking for him, and he took off right before sundown, and so there was only 30 minutes there, and people kept seeing him, and he was zigzagging across 48th and Adams.
That's not a good intersection for a tiny 9-pound dog to be going.
And he made it almost all the way to East Campus.
Which is impressive if you think about it.
It's a mile and a half or maybe just a mile. I don't know. 10 blocks.
That doesn't.
10
nobody
blocks to
knows where you
west.
live,
Yes,
so
but
just-
I don't know. It's a long ways that he made it, and just I figured eventually he'd. But
Come
yeah,
on home.
well, we're just trying to work off of what people were seeing, and then he would end up in a different spot, and I don't know. He just decided he was gonna go running, and
You're gonna take
he
on the
didn't wanna-
world.
He didn't want to stop, and it sucks. I mean, it's like I've going through all the steps or whatever of grief, and it's like I think I hit anger first, and then it was
Anger at who?
An
Yourself,
Archer.
at the
No,
dog.
an Archer actually, like because
Son of a bitch!
Yeah, no, it just
What are
because
you doing?
yeah, well, it's like the yard that we have is not even secure. He could have run away. He could have ran. He can get out of our fence. He can
Yeah.
sneak through. Like, but he just knows where he is, and it just I don't know. He just must have seen a squirrel, rabbit, and chased, and then just decided to keep going. And I don't know, man. Yeah, no. It's
So
first time losing a dog or a pet this way. It's it's definitely different. Yeah, because either the others have been old age or just unexpected illness or something like that. But still,
Old
you know,
yeller,
yeah.
anything like that.
Well,
So I'm gonna ask a few questions, and if I'm prying too deep or coming across insensitive, stop me on my place. I don't want to come across that way.
that's fine.
What stage of grief are you in right now? So you start off angry.
Oh, I'm pretty close to acceptance, I guess. I don't know which order they're supposed to go in. Bribery. Bribery was yesterday when I asked one of my friends if he knew of an Indian burial ground or a native burial
easy
ground nearby, or a necromancer, and apparently the only one he knew of was in Arizona, burial ground in Arizona, and then his necromancer was on vacation.
Have you seen
so.
Frankenweenie?
I
Because
don't think I've always
a little
seen it,
a little
yeah.
boy does resurrect his dog.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
it's
sorry
yeah,
you went
it's
to that
always a
stage.
thought. It's always a thought, but we didn't have that much time. We just got him in April, so
yeah.
it
So
just
so
sucks.
a little backstory of Archer. You rescued him.
yeah,
He
we
lived
got him
a-
from
he
a
lived
rescue.
a very not easy life. It was a very tough life.
Yeah,
that
he was
he
only
lived
like
in.
a couple years old.
And
Yeah,
it was a hard couple years, but you
Yeah.
guys, you rescued him. You gave him a very loving home and a
Yeah.
friendly home, and at least that's gonna be a little bit of solace that his
Yeah.
last couple years he was given reprieve and love and
yeah.
a good life.
No, it sucks, but
Do you know who
do.
hit him?
No.
They didn't pull over.
I don't know. There's like an old folks kind of apartment place right by where it was at.
So we immediately start blaming. the
It's decent
hard not to.
possibility, yeah. No, I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't, ask too many questions. But somebody was nice enough to get him off the road for us, and I just went and picked him up. So.
So you didn't file a police report or anything?
What are you gonna do? Like,
Okay,
what-
if you guys see a car with some blood on its tire,
no.
please
Easy.
arrest them immediately on spot.
Oh.
Because that's pretty, okay, in the driver's defense, they may have thought it was a squirrel.
Yeah, I mean he's a little bit bigger than the squirrel, but yeah, no, it was.
It
I don't
still
know,
feels it still feels pretty insensitive, like borderline. That's a hit and run. Like you see
Yeah.
a dog, or at least maybe if you don't see it, and you still hear a thump thump, and then you look in your rearview mirror and you see a little dog laying. Like
yeah, I have no
at
idea.
least have the courtesy to pull, unless they were drunk, but have the courtesy to
Decent
pull over
possibility,
and
but no,
tell the full
he's-
story of what happened, so you have some closure.
No, as far as it looks, I don't think it was a thud or anything like that. It was more he got probably I don't know. I don't want to talk about.
Don't
it
want to
anyway.
think about it. Sorry.
I don't want to talk about it.
So, R.I.P. Archer. Do you plan on buying a replacement dog soon?
Not for a while.
You need a little bit of time to mourn.
Yeah, no,
That's fair.
we'll need some time, but yeah, eventually. It just sucks because he just settled in so well, and he was a little buddy for Hubble, our
He was
cattle
the cutest
dog.
dog
and
ever.
he's
He was so nice.
He loved everybody, and he made the weirdest little noises in the morning, and just like noises a dog shouldn't make. Like I don't know. It's like he's a little weirdo, and I love
But
him,
he was your weirdo.
Yeah, and he would just, and yeah, he's like Hubble. He's like, yeah, he likes to sleep in bed sometimes, but he's like, I just want to go out to my own bed. And no, he was like right there.
Archer was a cuddle buddy.
Always had to be in bed with us.
That's a hard thing to. You can't. It's hard to replace a cuddle buddy because it's part of their nature of who they are. That specific dog.
Yeah.
He was also kind of shout out to the our groom room, one of our sponsors. He was kind of like their little mascot.
Yeah,
he was there all the time.
He was a full-time shop dog.
Well,
he took Saturdays off, and that's why yesterday was a little bit tough for me because that was my full day with him.
That's the day you had custody.
Yeah.
Was Saturdays.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yes. No.
So did you just spend all Saturday crying?
No, I got up and I got out of the house a little bit.
You got to take your mind off things.
Yeah.
Can't dwell for too long.
Right.
Is it wrong of me? Actually, I already know it's wrong of me, but I had a little bit of guilt because when you first told me the news, and this isn't, I don't want to say it's me, but it actually is me because it's my first instinctual thought was, oh, why couldn't that be Clark?
Son of a bitch. You know you would be crushed if that happened. You know you would
I know, I say it as a joke.
No,
I'd be devastated because Clark is like Archer. He is a cuddle, like Clark and I are cuddle buddies. Like, like even like, I've been on record to say like he is my wife's dog. He's not my dog. So anytime he does something bad or annoying, it's like that's your dog. You take care of it.
Yeah.
But every single night he's cuddled in between my kneecaps, in between my legs, not hers.
Yeah,
mine.
And when we babysit him, he's either there or on top of Alyssa's head. So
well, see, I punch or elbow him if he comes near my head. But he snuggles up in between the crease and the crevice behind my knee. And there will be a day that comes when he's not here, and I will thoroughly miss that.
It really sucks.
So,
yeah.
Sorry, Tim.
We only get him for so long, anyways. This is not long enough with that one. That's for sure.
Yeah. All that being said, Tim's still here for the podcast, and Vince isn't. So that tells you everything you need to know about Vince.
Let's just go easy.
Don't say that. I will take every single advantage I have to take shots at Vince.
Part of the reason I showed up today, if Vince showed up and it was like, oh, Tim didn't show up just because his dog died.
So you didn't want the trash talk to come towards you. That's the only reason.
Yeah, only.
It's not here because you're dedicated to the podcast. You just didn't want anybody to have this ammo against you.
Yeah, no.
Well, I wish Vince cared that much.
No. I sorry if, well, Vince doesn't listen to the podcast anyways, but I guess I forgot to tell him about it. But his mom knows.
He's probably heard word of the. I'm sure between the rumor mill.
Maybe
word is passed down to him.
Maybe
I hope so.
I don't know. Yeah.
Vince, I feel like Vince. Well, I feel like Vince should be a dog person, but he's not. Like he's a cat guy, but he shouldn't be.
He likes big dogs, but
he's a big dog guy.
No,
he just can't handle the responsibility.
No, I don't know. As a big dog as compared to a small dog guy, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, sorry you had to go through that this week. That's tough.
Yeah. I think we've talked about it long enough. Let's talk about something else.
Okay. Let's talk about. So the Rams are playing right now, but let's talk about last week when the Rams lost to who did they lose to? Primetime television. They lost
the Niners.
The 49ers, their rivals. So
the Niners have our number every year. It doesn't. I don't think we've ever swept the Niners in. I would have to look that up. I don't know when the last time would be, but ever since I've watched the Rams from the age of 9 or 10, it's every year. It doesn't matter how good we are.
Outside of the playoffs,
the Niners have
outside of the playoffs, Sean McVay is Kyle Shanahan's bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the whole moral of the story is I don't really care if the Rams win or lose. That's not what I'm getting at. But there was a protest. I don't want to say a streaker.
He wasn't
naked.
Yeah, I have no idea what that guy. I never heard what he was about.
He ran out onto the field. He had like a smoke grenade. Was running towards the sideline, and Bobby Wagner, linebacker for the Rams, laid him out. Laid the wood.
Best tackle of the night.
I love it. if you run on the field and you interrupt America's football, you should get laid out. Anyway, that man who claims to be a fan who is
suing for breaking the law.
He's taking legal action against Bobby Wagner because he was protesting. He was standing up for the people as he was running towards people with a smoke bomb in his hand.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. This guy,
it's already like there's some sort of charge that those guys get thrown with, like for either it's disturbing the peace or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. They get at least a fine anytime that anybody runs on the field for. It doesn't matter what. You're not allowed out there trespassing or whatever the hell it is.
We've said this before on the podcast. If you run on the field, you deserve to be laid out. If you go on a soccer field, you should be drop kicked with a cleat to your neck. It doesn't matter. If you interrupt our sporting event that we all have come together as a people to interact with this experience and you try to ruin that, you deserve to be physically harmed. And listen, like, he was protesting probably for something good, but the fact of the matter is none of us know what you were standing up for.
Yeah.
And that's your fault. And also, too, again, if you run onto a sporting event, the only time it is forgivable is if you actually get naked. If you have the courage to run on the field naked, then by all means,
you get a pass. You still get to get laid out.
Yeah.
But
but we're not going to attack you.
Yeah.
But if you are
you're living
clothed,
the dream, but it's a stupid dream.
A smoke bomb. I mean, that's borderline a weapon.
Well, I don't know. It is. I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know how loose the security is there at Levi Stadium, but
apparently loose enough for this guy to go on the field. But Bobby Wagner was trying to do his job, and he was having a bad day at work.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who was delaying the end of his shift.
Yeah. Now this isn't the first time this has happened, but I don't think any of them have any recourse like whatsoever.
Apparently, this guy does.
Oh, I don't think so. No, this has happened before. They've
sued.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's ever worked because they don't think they have any sort of legal recourse. I mean, unless he like picked him up from his neck and just like tore his literal head off. His family then might have some recourse, but no.
Which Bobby Wagner probably physically can do.
He might be able to do, but yeah.
But still, this guy is I don't want to say the lowest of lows, but have a little bit of self-awareness here.
Yeah.
Like, you brought this upon yourself. Yeah. This is like the people who break into somebody's house and then trip on a toy and break.
Well, it's just the thing. It's
sue the homeowner.
If they so happen to have anybody on the security team chasing him that could actually lay anybody out for once, they probably wouldn't be suing them.
They should really make. You couldn't afford it, but they should make, instead of all these like ex-football players or ex-athletes who go into like commentating and being analysts and stuff, hire them on as security. Like, that way they still have that anger and rage and aggression that drove them through their entire career. You can still use that on these pathetic people who want attention.
Yeah.
I'd say that would be a great post-game, post-career job for Bobby Wagner.
Well, it's just the thing. If you're going to go immediately when somebody runs on the field, they do not show that on the camera feed at all.
Apparently, well, the reason why we all saw this is because on the ESPN2.
Yeah, it comes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
no.
The regular feed
for this one, what happened was Peyton Manning in the Eli Manning the Manning cast on ESPN2.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning's like, put that up. Let's see that, and they're like,
not supposed to. Yeah.
Peyton, we can't do it. He's like, well, this is my show. Put it on. So they showed it.
Yeah.
So that's how we got. That's how.
Well,
we got
it always shows up on the internet eventually, but anyway, so it doesn't really matter on that. But it's just like
I can't imagine how much we're going to be seeing of this in the World Cup because of the human rights stuff. We're probably going to see this a few times.
Well, I mean.
They might be warranted, but I will have this same stance then as I do now. Is that somebody should drop them by the neck.
Yeah. Well, it's in guitar, so it might just be a halftime stoning or something every single time. But,
that would be a firing. That would be the halftime show. Is a firing squad for anybody who tries to protest.
Stoning, come on. Whatever.
So, yeah, I felt the need to talk about that because some people just have very, very little self-awareness in the world and deserve everything that's coming to them. So hopefully this guy gets countered sued.
I don't know about that.
Hopefully
I think he's gonna spend he's gonna lose money hiring a
Hopefully
lawyer.
he loses
but
everything.
I don't know.
Everything.
It's a frivolous
I
lawsuit.
hope he loses his family, his job. I hope they all leave him,
Jesus.
and he just becomes impoverished and has to live on the streets.
God damn.
Tim, you know how sacred football fields are. Sacred ground to me, okay? And if you do that, you are interjecting into my reprieve from my own life. And when you do that, we're bringing down the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but yes, Mankini or streaking. Even the Mankini was a little bit.
I'll be a little more lenient to the Mankini.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna,
that's at least something.
What happened? That's what happened to our society. We used to be, probably the internet. People used to have courage. People used to actually get naked. Yeah. They weren't scared, but now people are scared.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, that's probably fair because
getting naked is a little bit more illegal, I guess.
That's true, but still, like for
for
the I guess the tradition.
And I suppose if there's kids in the crowd, you could also get something for that too. Who knows?
But then just don't run on the field. How about that?
Yeah.
It's probably as easy as that.
But if you're going to protest, you need to write whatever your cause is on your naked body and not have a stupid shirt that nobody can read.
Bold font.
Yeah.
So we can read. So we know what you're trying to say.
Hire a body painter.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
You dopes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a comedian actually, and I don't even know who it was. I just saw it on Twitter. There was a comedian at the Omaha Funny Bone who was doing a bit. He was just doing his normal stand-up routine, and some lady started she was heckling, but she wasn't heckling. She was trying to make a statement or a protest of some women in Iran, or I don't know what it was. She was doing this.
What?
And the the comedian was like, "Hold on, what are you trying to say?" And she said it like, "He's like, you're choosing now to make this stance." She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "At the Omaha Funny Bone."
There's 40 people in
at
here.
Tops. 40 people tops. This is where you choose to make your statement. Here's the issue with our society. We have this faux moral high ground where we want to be seen being activists. We don't actually want to do anything. We don't want to go out of our way and do something that would risk our well-being. Yeah. But we want people to know that we think that we're empathetic towards others. And that's who these people are. Is they're not actually willing to get their hands dirty. They're not actually willing to stand up for what they claim to believe in. They're just willing to interrupt my personal entertainment to do so, which does nobody any good.
Yeah. The like button on Facebook or the heart button on Twitter, just as effective.
It makes all the sorry to get on our high horse
unless you're organizing a new Million Man March in DC and doing some what do you call it, peaceful disobedience or whatever civil disobedience with a bunch of people and you're organized. You as one person making or just interrupting people is not. It's not gonna work.
These are faux.
I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a shot every time this thing crashes.
The YouTube's still going strong, so YouTube gets a little bit behind the scenes of my computer just spiraling out of control, and let me fix this first.
You need your wits about you to fix this.
I don't even need my wits. I just need I need my hands free.
This confounded Apple machine.
Yeah, faux keyboard warriors are the worst because they don't actually get anything done. They just try to guilt everybody into feeling the way they feel because it gives them some sort of false vindication.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, violence is the only answer. And I will stand
or mass non-violence. Just
nope. I will stand on that opinion forever. Violence
sometimes
is the only, which is very contradictory to my religious beliefs. The turn the other cheek mentality.
Yeah,
So it worked for him, but it's not going to work for me. But here we are. Nonetheless, I won't ramble and preach about revolution and whatnot because I feel like I've done that enough on this podcast. I've probably done it too much. It's become like and you know what? That's what this podcast has kind of become, Tim. It's just my like emotional outlet.
Yeah.
I get an opinion, and instead of posting it on social media or telling anybody that is involved in whatever I feel, okay, you know what? Damn it, I'm not better than anybody else. I'm just doing it on a podcast instead of on social media or streaking in a sporting event. So now that we've talked about
except for this podcast, literally nobody hears it. So
easy. We have a very dedicated following who does hear it because they actually do like my opinions and they agree with me, or they just laugh at me. They listen. They're in their car
driving
with you, and they're just laughing at me.
At you.
Yeah, laughing at me. I'm the butt of most people's jokes, including my wife's.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Wow, so far with the absence of Vince, this is a big Tim podcast. We're talking about your problems, your issues, things that are happening in your life. Does that feel good? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Because even last week I had to stop and like, Tim, can you?
Well, now you guys can't just nerd out about Lord of the Rings and
other nerdy things.
Yeah.
Okay, so as much as we've talked trash about Vince so far, I'm glad I found him in my life in a way, because I've always thought that I was. Well, I've never really belonged to a group of people, ever. Like, I've been kind of like a lone wolf, kind of like the fat guy from The Hangover. I've been kind of like him my whole life, and because I have this I have this very passionate jock side of me who loves sports and stuff. And then there's also this like very nerdy side that those two things clash and don't really intertwine. So I've always kind of been alone in a sense. And here comes Vince stumbling into my life, who likes the same things that he likes soccer, and then he likes Lord of the Rings too. And we're just like, oh, it's almost like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it really is.
Maybe I should talk to my wife about this. Maybe Vince is my soulmate.
I've talked about it many times. There's been a few end of the episodes where I swear to you guys, we're just gonna start going at it. Like, not like fighting, but
like getting it on.
Yeah, like starts as play wrestling, but
our shirts come off.
I'll just leave, guys.
All right, so there it is. I think it's taken us 236 episodes and 5 years to get to this point, but there, I said it.
You love Vince.
Vince is my soulmate. Yeah. And maybe that's why I'm so angry when he's not here at the podcast. Because this is me trying to tether him to me. The Garage Talk podcast is our soul tether.
Oh.
We don't care who listens or doesn't listen. This is our chance to connect on an intimate and very spiritually deep level that nobody else understands us in that way.
This feels like it could be a romantic comedy or tragedy. I'm not sure.
Ooh, we're not sure how it's going to end yet. It could be a tragedy or a comedy, or probably in this situation, probably both. Who are you in this situation then? Are you like
I don't know.
The matchmaker? Are you the?
Oh, you guys.
You're like the friend on the side who gets dragged into the drama. You're the ordained minister.
Yeah, I'll do your gay wedding when you get divorced. It's fine. Yeah. I mean it.
Yeah, because you are ordained, correct?
I did.
Is gay marriage legal in Nebraska?
Yeah, legal everywhere.
Hey, look at us.
They're trying to. Well, we're
progressive.
No, there was literally it's federal. They're trying to do away with. They're trying to do away with it again.
Well, if there's anything that we have learned, and that's that marriage is and should be a state law. I mean, it says it in the Bible.
Well, the reason why it became legal throughout the United States was because of they struck down the Defense of Marriage Act or whatever in the 90s or something like that, and then that made it so it couldn't be illegal. I don't know, but I don't know how they're trying to undo that again, but it's getting stupid.
We're like in Nebraska, we're trying to undo it.
I don't know yet. It's been talked about.
Is medicinal marijuana legal here yet?
I think it's on the ballot.
Like we're on the way, right?
It was
on the ballot last time that they nixed it because of some verbiage.
It was supposed to be, yes, but no. I think this time around it is. I don't know. It's been unclear. I haven't seen anything about it. So, because it was obviously like they had enough like overall signatures, but it was just apparently there's a percentage per county or something like that, which is really fucking dumb because there's like 5 people in one county, and if all of them say nah, fuck marijuana, then that throws you all off. But I don't know.
Nebraska's a weird. So for you out of state listeners, Nebraska is a very weird place. It's as strange as it sounds. It's like this in almost every aspect of life. We are in a war of attrition between the old guard and the young guard, because in almost every we have all this old community that has these traditional values, so to speak, and then we have, because you think about Lincoln and Omaha, the two big, the majority of the population are usually younger college students, so they're a little more, progressive.
Yeah,
and it's just this colliding of two ideologies going against each other, where the minority of the population comes out on top.
Yeah,
it's strange. Also, speaking of old people,
it's literally where land votes harder than people. Nebraska, welcome Nebraska.
Yeah, and a lot of places in the Midwest. Speaking of
it's land.
Speaking of old people, though, I have a theory. I've been noticing a trend that our city is increasing their roundabout production. We're putting roundabouts in every single intersection we can find, which is kind of annoying, but it's whatever. But
technically safer.
But it's not with old people on the road. Every single old person I see massively struggles with the idea of a roundabout, and I came up with a theory why. I know why. It's not just because they're old and they're bad drivers or whatever. There's actually a reason why, because there is this generation of human being who grew up with law and order. Post World War II, you follow the rules, you stay in your lane, you do what you're told, and that's that. So, and that interweaves into their driving. There's a red light, green light, and a yellow light, and stop signs and yield signs. You are told when you can go, and you are told when you can stop, and you don't do anything until you are given the clearance to do that. In a roundabout, it's every man for themselves. When you're approaching, you have to make the decision for yourself if you want to stop, yield, or go. And there's no light, no sign, nothing to tell you what to do. So
yield.
So they get
left.
So they get in this. Their head gets in a pretzel, and then they just go and either crash into somebody or stop in the middle of a roundabout when they shouldn't stop.
Well,
but that's my theory: is that they grew up with this ideology that they have to do what they're told, and now they are giving this new. This roundabout is the key to their freedom.
I don't know.
They just can't.
It seems
they
like
can't take it.
It seems like in different parts of towns, roundabouts have different rules because.
Well, it depends on the lanes. If it's 2 roundabout lane or like a 1 roundabout lane.
Yeah. No. The one. Oh, it's close by here. A in Folsom or something like that. That one is lawless. Like absolutely. It used to be a 4-way stop before. That wasn't even like a light. It's completely lawless. So it's like,
well, let me
like
explain
nobody
why.
like
Hold on, let me explain why.
As long as there's like a constant flow, nobody will stop going one way. Like,
but
even if somebody like starts coming, like they just don't stop. Like, oh, there's enough cars here. You can't stop us all.
Well,
like,
it's because it shouldn't even be a roundabout. I mean, it's so small. It's so small. It should you have to like crank the wheel and crank it back, or you just drive straight over the median because it's just like 5 feet in diameter.
Yeah, the trucks trucks and trailers have to do that all the time with roundabouts here. That's why they can't make them a regular car. If you try to, or if you just don't see the roundabout, you're going to wreck your car if you accidentally go over it. It's like that, but. A truck can just drive up and over it because obviously they can't make the curve. But I don't know. Overall, they are safer as far as head-on collisions and side collisions and T-bones like that.
Only because it slows people down.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's more of a harm reduction than convenience, I guess. But
We'd rather have.
but I think I don't know. I'm growing
almost accidents than real accidents.
Yeah. You got to do something. So I don't know. No, they're not what we're used to, but I think they are a step in the direction. They're annoying. They'll always be annoying, but I think people will eventually get used to them and it won't be near as bad. But wow, I feel like an old person talking about traffic. Want to talk about the weather?
That's what this podcast,
it's been so nice.
This podcast has become, yeah.
Hey, how about the weather out there?
That's the worst when you're like, so when you're at work and you either talk to a customer or somebody else that you're working with, like from a different company, and you work with them, they're like, oh yeah, the weather, and it's like, stop talking to me, okay? Like if you,
it's literally the go-to.
I would rather
for small talk.
I'd rather just not talk than you say, oh, it got pretty chilly this morning. Who fucking cares? Why does it matter? I'm at work anyway, whether it's chilly or hot. I'm here, and so are you, because the weather does not actually matter.
It's such a Nebraska thing, though.
It is.
You have to talk about the weather,
and none of us believe in climate change.
I mean,
unreal. Boston Dynamics, the company Boston Dynamics pledges not to weaponize its robots. I feel so much better. Thank you so much, Boston Dynamics. I can sleep safely at night. My paranoia of AI and
they already work for the police and
robotics taking over. I feel so much better.
I mean, obviously they haven't like weaponized them yet, but they already. I thought like
they won't. They pledged not
New York and whatever had them working for the police, so they're at least an accessory to violence.
Yeah.
No matter what, if they were.
But they're not weaponized. So that means the Boston Dynamics should have said they should have said, "Listen, we're not gonna terminate you. This is not gonna be Terminator." And
that's what they say.
To that I say bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't. Boston Dynamics, never heard of you before. I do not believe you. Mm-hmm. Not for a single second.
Because
the minute somebody waves some cash in front of your face to put some weapons on your robots, you're gonna be like, oh, "Okay." Mm-hmm. I don't trust anybody, and I don't trust robots.
Yeah,
that's where I draw the line in the sand. Everyone else and robots. You can't cross that line with me.
Yeah.
And when everybody else and robots intermingle, that's war.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
Right. No, it's just like such a thing. Like, yeah, this is what I'm not sure if it's Terminator or Iron Man or
definitely Terminator.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or iRobot.
iRobot. Yeah.
Can you imagine being Isaac Asimov and like your writing is so influential that like a future generation of humans are like scared of things that you came up with in your own brain for creative purposes? Is that crazy to think about? Like he was writing science fiction like books to be entertaining and to be speculative, and 30, 40 years later, we're like, that's truth.
Yeah, we should probably,
that's what I fear.
Yeah. Follow
his imagination.
His
fake
follow
world
the
that we made up.
rules. Yeah,
hey, that's the power of the written word.
But at the same time, there's a lot of things to worry about. I mean,
maybe for you, but I only worry about science fiction type things.
Well, there's just regular world things, even not the science fiction threats. Like we might not even make it that far.
Like Alexa.
Well, or just nuclear fallout or whatever.
Who's gonna nuke who?
I don't know. Russia keeps like, shh, we got it. We'll use it. We're desperate. Everybody's leaving the country, so yeah, that's fun. And North Korea is also kind of like. It's a fun time to live in, man.
It is kind of funny. Like the world can end at any moment. We're just like, yeah,
well,
let's waste our finals days podcasting.
Well, there was one thing I saw. I was like, why is nobody that worried about or why is it not talked about that the threat of nuclear destruction is upon us again? And it's like, well, it's kind of like if you're a bomb diffuser or something like that, like. At a certain point, it isn't your problem anymore. Once it's done, it's not your problem.
It's not real.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared. I'm not scared of nuclear fallout. I'm scared of Alexa, who may allow that nuclear fallout to happen. Like my parents.
Have you been watching War Games again?
My parents are like, their dedication to Alexa is creepy. Like Alexa runs their house. Lights don't go
as in like smart home sort of thing.
Lights don't go off without Alexa. TVs don't turn on without Alexa. Dinner's not cooked without Alexa. Like without Alexa's approval, things do not function in that house, and it scares me because I care for those people. And it's like, well, you are setting yourself up to be destroyed by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I can't wait till they come out with the Alexa that looks like the thing from 2001 Space Odyssey.
No, not even. What'll happen first is it'll be the
I'm sorry,
Blade
I can't
Runner
do that, Tim.
I'm sorry, Tim. Damn you, Hal!
Hal.
No, that Blade Runner 2049 covers this very well.
Oh, okay.
Because you get your own personal, and she's like a projection of a real human being, and she does cook you dinner and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like the second step of Alexa.
Yeah.
I'll kill every robot, Tim. I'm telling you right now. No robot's taking me out, but they probably will because they have, enhanced weaponry and carbon fiber skin and stuff.
I can't believe we're talking about robots and not sports, but
nothing's happened in the sports world.
The Huskers won again.
Okay. That was here's the thing I'll say about the Huskers. So everybody got mad about Thursday Night Football because the Broncos. Who did they play? Who did the Broncos play? The Broncos and the Colts. It was the worst game of football ever. Everybody said, and I said, okay, yeah, that's fair. That was trash football. And then I tuned into the Nebraska game and it was like, oh, that was actually really good compared to this.
Yes, it was.
I
mean, obviously they've been ugly games. Can you hand me my koozie back, by the way?
You threw at me?
You
threw it at me.
Your goddamn slander.
I said nothing.
Yeah, and that's mostly why I was mad. Is it lost forever?
Nope, I got you.
All right, thank you.
No, the Nebraska game was so bad. I watched a little bit of the first quarter. I watched a little bit of the first quarter, and I'm like, okay, I'm not watching this.
But the point God damn, your dedication is awful. But no, it's just
my dedication. What do you mean?
You as a Husker fan,
you saw me watching the Titans game just a few minutes ago. My dedication is all in
to a team that was trying to also lose. But no, we tried to win that.
Trying doesn't pay the bills. We won. Goal line interception, baby. I believe till the end.
Your offense tries to lose, I guess, by not scoring points in the second half.
Well, we have no offensive line and no receivers. What do you want us to do, Tim?
So Huskers go in, once again, do not allow any points in the second half, score to get the win.
Greg Schiano is the biggest idiot I've ever met in my life. I've never even met him.
Didn't he go to the school or Nick Saban's school for coaches who can't coach so good?
Yeah,
is he one of them?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah.
Greg Schiano's a dope. So that my whole point is, I watched a little bit of the first quarter of the Nebraska game. Like, okay, I forgot. And now I remember why I hate watching college football. Turn it off. Looked at the score on my phone a little bit later. I was like, okay, there's 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'll go watch it. Fine, see what happens. I turned it on. We scored a touchdown. Now we're winning. Awesome. And then the final 5 minutes of that game was the most disgusting football I've ever seen. By both sides, the coaching was just horrendous. Greg Schiano was trying to call timeouts to stop the offense with like 5 minutes left in the game. And then he used one timeout for a third down. And then he had one timeout left. And instead of playing out the play, he called his final timeout. And then it was just so bad. It was so bad. I hate it. I hate college football so much.
Point is, 2 in a row. God damn, just negative.
I can't wait to go to Nebraska game. I'm very excited. College sports is so much fun in person. Yeah. But following it as like a diehard fan, I can't do it, Tim.
No.
I can't do it anymore. The product is so bad. I cannot if I emotionally invest myself into this, I will die from how bad of a return I'm getting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like we're you should just be happy with a win.
Yeah,
I mean,
am. Good for them. Yeah. I just don't give a fuck.
You did a lot of bitching for being happy about it, but
I'm not happy. I just don't care. That's nice. Whatever.
That's happiness. You know how many times this so used to, I guess it was a Friday. It was a little bit weird.
Mike Riley and Scott Frost, what they did is they came together and they said, we're going to kill Tyler's spirit. We're going to destroy his soul. And that's what they did. And so here I am.
Well,
and while Mike Rabel is lifting me up.
Is he?
He is. I love Mike Rabel. I wish Mike Rabel was my dad.
Is he?
No offense, Dad.
He'll let you down.
Never.
Even
he
more.
Would never. Yeah, so Nebraska won. Awful display of football. Good, yeah, good for them. I hope we keep winning. That'd be great. I will say, as much as flack, and I wish Vince was here, as much as flack that Scott Frost gets for being a bad coach, Eric Chernander may be the worst defensive mind I have ever seen in my life.
Well, that's the thing. It's just 2 weeks in a row we adjusted our defense at halftime and didn't allow any more points. So.
Yeah, Eric Chernander is the biggest fraud I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of defensive frauds in my life.
Yeah.
Eric Chernander should never coach a game of football in his life again. And I stand by that statement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you hear the rumor that Scott Frost was possibly in Arizona State?
Ooh. Is that real?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't know either. But I'm sure Vince would have some sort of.
Oh yeah, inside source.
His
only,
ear to the
only
ground.
inside source that he has is some stupid bullshit college rumor about some coach having sex with college students because that's the only thing that they're creative enough to come up with.
Yeah, literally the same rumor that was about Frank Solich.
Every single coach they don't like. Oh, he's having sex with a young woman.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you got anything else?
But Frank Solich.
Do you have any insight in the game of football? No. Okay. So we'll just go.
Okay.
We'll take your truth as gospel.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that they did get right about Frank Solich is that apparently he was drinking a lot. He did get a DUI after.
Who cares? We all drink a lot.
Yeah.
I still do my job very well.
Exactly. But no, I just
Stop placing your moral support, your moral.
Yeah, which is very very hypocritical for Nebraska, which is like one of the top 5 drinking states in the nation, probably. You can't beat Wisconsin, I suppose.
Stop placing your moral hierarchy in college sports.
Yeah. Can I go watch my game now? I don't know if I have anything else to talk about.
We're not even at an hour yet, Tim. Holy cow!
Are we not? Oh,
Where's
okay.
Vince at? I'll just how about you go watch your game and I'll call Vince.
Just
and
call
I'll
Vince.
Just have a conversation. There is one bit of news I would like to talk about.
Oh, we can talk. I was just kidding, but
I know. But I will wrap it up for your sake. I do have a bit of news that affects my people, my ethnic heritage, that I'm very passionate about.
Are gonna
astronaut Nicole Mann becomes the first Native American
yeah.
woman to travel to space. Thank you for the representation, Mrs. Nicole Mann or Miss Nicole Mann.
Mm-hmm.
My people have suffered greatly, and you are a great representation of that. Not a representation of our suffering, but a representation of who we are as a people, of success. You have anything to say about that? You usually get mad at me when I make false claims. You just used to by now.
I accidentally said the I word earlier, so you know I just got.
You got to keep your mouth shut. Because if you try to use anything against me, I'll just loop that on replay forever.
But it's what they say in the movie. I mean, come on, and they still use it for their health center as like. Yeah.
And if you're new to this podcast, I am not native. My wife is, so I latch onto her, and anything that she has of like is accredited or successful or something positive about her, I leech onto it and take it as every white man has done in history. I take it as my own. So she graduates from Nebraska. Hey, I'm an alumni.
Oh yeah, and also happy upcoming Indigenous Peoples Day.
When's that?
Whenever.
Happy Indigenous People Day. Also, happy Columbus Day to the big Columbus fans out there. What a credit! Does anybody know anything about Columbus?
Oh yeah, that's tomorrow. Yeah, no.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
And they actually say
everybody listening today, Happy Indigenous People Day.
The Google says both. Like it's we're kind of
Google's a coward. They won't take a side.
They won't take a side on that one. So
they're so soft.
Yeah.
Google is so weak.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's just well, I mean, it was just a bank holiday, anyways.
Is there
really,
people who defend Columbus?
Yeah, if you
like, he was an explorer. Okay, so when does exploring
did he just discover America? Well, no.
Not really. When does being a good explorer overcome the horrific nature of rape and pillaging?
Yeah, I really don't think there's anything redeeming about Columbus. Is this he literally got credit for something he didn't actually do, and then yeah, I don't know. Apparently it. What is because there's the town Columbus, Nebraska,
and Columbus,
named after
Ohio.
Yeah. I think their team's. It's not called the Columbus Navigators, which is like.
Tim,
he wasn't even a navigator.
Tim, nobody knows what you're talking about.
I know, but I'm just saying. But I'm just saying.
Nebraska. What Columbus? I don't even know where Columbus is. I've never even heard of it. Columbus, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska's Lincoln, Omaha, and then farms. That's it.
Okay, fine.
Anywho, to all my fellow natives out there, Happy Indigenous People Day. We suffered greatly, but we just got to space, so who's the real loser?
All right.
I don't know what my point is.
And sorry the bank closed tomorrow.
I'm just trying to rile Tim up with my faux native propaganda.
I don't have it in me.
You had a long week. You can't. I can spew any nonsense I want. I can say whatever, and Tim will not put me in my place. I'll just run with
it. Last 3 days, I've just been humming "Tears in Heaven" to myself.
Germany might be the greatest country in the history of humankind. They've never done anything wrong.
Well, now you're just trying to get Vince to call on.
Fight it.
God damn.
I think we need to get real for a second. I'm saying a lot of ridiculous things. I've been thinking this is real, listeners. I'm not being stupid anymore. I've been curious because I've been pretty open about our drop in numbers recently, and I'm wondering if it's because of the severe lack of genuinity in our attempts to be funny. We say things that may be stupid or not that we truly believe in the sake of comedy or entertainment, but in which doing so creates a disconnect between listeners and us. What? So maybe the fact that we say stupid things to be funny creates a disconnect between us and listeners because it's not what they want. They want real, genuine entertainers.
Well, I think it's maybe it used to be that way, but I feel like lately it's more of what we would actually make a joke about if we were just talking. So I don't know. I think that's genuine most times. I mean, there's some things that I try to interject like that I thought of beforehand, like for a certain thing, but most of the time it's just.
The inability to be serious and real for a few, but like at least for me,
it's banter.
But how stupid can you let the banter get?
I don't know.
These are just thoughts I've had. I don't know what the answers are, and I don't know if we're wrong. I think there's bigger issues at play, but
dedication for one.
Well, besides Vince, we're both very dedicated. So maybe Vince is the catalyst. I'm trying to be serious. I can't even do it. Gosh dang it! I am the cause and failure of this podcast. I'm the alpha and the omega. I'm the god of this. See, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know either, man. I am single-handedly wasting you and Vince's time, and I apologize. I have fun with it.
Yeah, no. If it was a waste of time, I
enjoy what we do.
We literally wouldn't. try to schedule around anything.
That's true. Like I enjoy what we do.
I've literally stopped. This is my first stop back from coming back from Scotia. Sometimes so it's like not like I don't want to be here.
You choose here before your own home.
Yeah.
But it's like I like what we do. You guys like what we do, and like 20 people love what we do. Outside of that, everybody's just like, just stop, please.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. As long as we're making somebody happy.
That's true.
Even if it's just us.
Just one person. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Just one person. Mm-hmm. If we make one person happy, we've done our jobs. Yeah. As the other 7.99 billion people yell at us.
Well, that would be impressive if we had that some sort of impact. But
let's see, should I check what we're at on Instagram followers?
I don't know yet.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. I haven't checked in a while. I actually just stopped going to our page because it's just constant spam. And somebody even comment. Okay, so we are at 3,506 followers, but I even had we just had a comment today on a post that I made 8 weeks ago when we re-signed our contract with the Groom Room for sponsorship. I posted that. Great. We got a comment 2 days ago from Fresh Exposure Empire. Said, "Awesome, Yagabomb" is one word. YEAGABOMB. Awesome, Yagabomb needs to bring his dogs at CHI.Starseed.
What?
Just nonsense. And then you click on this guy and he has 6 followers and he's following 32 people. Okay. And then Chai Starseed is Yagabomb. Yagabomb has some followers. 1,800, not nearly as much as us, but still. It's just like, what is going on? I do not understand the internet or social media, and they're really hurting my head. I don't like this.
I don't know either, man.
But good for us. All right, let's go watch the Rams game. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love you. Appreciate you. R.I.P. Archer. Vince, you're a coward. See everybody next week.
I don't think that, but it's fine.
He does think that. He thinks what I tell him to think. Goodbye. And Vince, this is for you. Goodbye.